to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text the show on 81215, follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, or you can email the show via the Absolute Radio website. Those are three options. There's probably other things. You could turn up. Turn up at number 1 Golden Square.
Be careful what
Is
you
that a bad
wish
thing?
for. I think be careful about that.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Well,
think
what do I do now? I've said it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not.
That's your autobiography number 4.
Exactly.
What do I do now? I've said it.
It's not that I fear for them. It's that I fear that they'll be disappointed. You know. That,
Oh, thanks.
Don't meet your heroes thing.
I've made an effort today, actually.
Yeah, don't meet your heroes. You're right.
Yeah. We had a we've got a running thing on this show.
I've had a pretty good run of meeting heroes.
Have you?
Yeah.
Who have you
How's
met
it gone?
then?
Oh,
the
the
ones
Queen.
I've met, I mean, I've all...
Queen,
no, I
is
wouldn't
that
say.
hero?
Did very well with the Queen, didn't she? She
Strange
was shouting
hero.
Frank across the Albert Hall at him.
I did used to carry a picture in my pocket.
Oh, yeah, lovely.
No, when I've met,
I mean, the note.
Yeah.
Yeah.
when I've met
He's doing his material.
boxers and footballers and stuff that I've liked, I can't think of one that's really let me down.
Oh, really?
The
That's
idea
good.
is to get them for about 10 minutes, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Not
you don't
too long.
You don't get into a relationship with someone who's been your hero.
No,
But
I'm
I
not.
don't know who that'd be. Funnily enough, Zola Bod, I suppose. But,
Yeah, maybe.
But then I think she now runs an ostrich farm in Bloemfontein.
Oh.
I don't think I could have lived like that.
Oh.
Still running.
Is she?
Oh, yeah.
Glad to know you're not doing midnight frantic Googles on her.
No, I
Has she moved
watched
on to
it.
the
How on earth did you know about the ostrich farm?
There's a documentary with her and Mary Decker. Do you remember Mary Decker?
I do.
Who,
I do.
Who fell over
Mary
Zola's
Decker
leg.
Slaney, was
yes.
it?
Yeah, she became,
Yeah.
I think,
Married
Slaney.
to Richard Slaney.
Yeah. What if she'd have married somebody called Decker? She'd have been a double decker instead of double barreled. Does anyone ever done that? Married someone with the same surname and still gone double barreled?
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah.
So, if you've ever heard of anyone who's done that, which you won't have, so I'm not going to bother finishing even the sentence, which I think Ronnie Biggs once said. Yeah, I forgot what I was even talking.
You were
about.
talking about Zola Bard's ostrich
Zola Bard.
farm in Bloemfontein.
Exactly.
Has she moved on to footwear, Zola? Do you know that about her? Has she gone?
No, I
footwear?
saw in this documentary. You see film because Mary Decker can't run anymore. She had some sort of injury, so.
Well, yeah, Zola Bard tripped her over.
From that
She did
incident.
not trip her over. She
Did
ran
look
into
like
her.
it, didn't it?
Oh, come on. Anyway, if you had bare feet, would you trip over someone in spikes?
Good point.
So
That's why her plan was so masterful.
she still runs. Well, if you're around ostriches, you're going to run, whether you want to or not.
True.
Yeah.
But yeah, still well.
She'd be a prime candidate for those barefoot shoes that people have, wouldn't she? Zola Bud.
She should have had a crop.
What are barefoot shoes?
You know,
those
those-
ones with the individual toes.
Yeah.
Oh, they make me
sort of-
absolutely sick.
I've got a pair.
I know a lot of people that have.
Oh, that makes it better.
I don't
must
go.
admit
I
I'm
don't go out
considering them.
in them. I must admit.
You don't?
Have you really got a pair?
Yeah, but I picked them up and Buckshee. That's what as
Gratis.
The
You
word
get
they
sent
used to
all
use.
sorts of stuff.
I haven't heard that word Buckshee for ages.
No.
But yeah, anyway, got them free.
Okay.
Anyway, this won't put Rob Bonnet on the ITV Sports Show. So let's move on.
We had an email yesterday morning, strangely.
Yesterday morning.
Friday, 9:30 a.m.
Does it
Yeah.
say Dear Dave Berry?
No.
Okay.
It says big moment, and then it continues. You know that we've talked
Oh,
about
yeah.
this.
This is when someone tells you something they think you won't know, and it's usually a thing that everybody knows. Okay.
Yes. The original big moment was just shared in my office. Not one person was unaware of the fact. I described it as a big moment to an office full of non-readers of the show, to much confusion. Praise redacted, Jack.
What was it?
The original big moment, that Big Mo
Oh.
was Gary Oldman's sister.
And every one of them knew it.
Every single person in his office already knew it,
But that's
none of
the
them.
point.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
then it was
yeah.
successful.
But
Yeah.
some you might think it's a numbers game that one person wouldn't know, but no, everyone. The whole.
I had a bit of another thing, an idiotic eureka moment this week when you suddenly notice something. Oh, I heard someone's. Is that my phone?
think it might have been.
I think it was.
Oh,
Yeah.
Daisy.
Was it Daisy?
Daisy looking bashful.
Was it an
Oh, no, it's
email
Frank.
through?
Shall I tell you what it is?
Was it GDPR? Oh, I love that. Do you know they're like a needy ex? I love them for that.
It is good how begging.
Please don't leave us. This is your last chance.
Yeah.
I'm not asking again.
No,
That last chance was never
it's
the
not
last
that.
chance, was
It's
it?
actually, it's the Oxford Dictionary of Philosophy app.
Oh, excellent.
Word of the day has just come through. Do you want to know what it is?
So Des cards.
Why don't you just get Tesco loyalty things like the rest of us? It's always
It's,
like Who Alerts or
not Des
Poetry
cards.
Corner.
The word of the day is macrocosm.
Oh, excellent.
Oh, lovely.
But we'll leave it there, I think. If I'll keep you not next week's word of the day. I'll keep you. What if I did that every week?
I'd like that.
The Oxford Philosophy apps.
I
word of
like
the day.
that.
Yeah, there is a definition. So they don't just leave you hanging.
Oh, that'd be good.
Well, God,
No.
not at the OPA.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
What was you? Oh, I was on about my idiotic eureka moment.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember? It may have been last summer, Emily. Maybe it was the summer before. I'd run out of free sunglasses and found myself in the predicament where I had to buy a pair.
Outrageous.
Yeah,
And
I remember it well.
and so you took me to a shop.
Oh,
Now, what shop
this
was
story
it?
gets worse.
I believe it was called the Sunglasses Hut.
Yes. Well,
Because I remember you liked I think you thought it was going to be some tiki hut and
exactly. I thought it was
Right.
going to be a barn, some kind of a barn.
and we'd have lays
I'll tell you
placed
what I
on
thought
you.
it would be. I thought it would be an outbuilding.
Yeah.
But no, it wasn't.
It's a building. It's a brick building often.
It is. It's a shop.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with
Yeah.
Sunglasses Hut?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought I was. And then I saw one the other day and I thought, hold on, it's not Sunglasses Hut at all. It's Sunglass Hut. That's
No.
what it's called.
Oh,
And I thought,
wow.
what is sunglass? That's a thing you never hear. Is that what the stuff in sunglasses is? And it's because you got two pieces of sunglass. They are sunglasses. Is that what?
Yeah.
But it's called the sunglass. Like I mean, as you know, I've read Treasure Island recently. It felt like something you might get like spyglass or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
And who knew?
Because it's a pair of sunglasses. It's never in the singular.
No, exactly. I mean, could you get... First of all, is there such a thing as sunglass? Is that what that stuff is called?
Yeah.
And could you get a sunglass monocle?
Probably.
Say if you walk to work in the morning and the sun comes on one side of the street, and then when you walk back, it's moved over to the other. So you could just have a monocle one for the walk out, and then when you
Nice.
walk back, you could switch monocles over.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd need the same prescription, but I suppose if it was a sunglass thing, you wouldn't need a prescription at all. I don't know if you can get a non-prescription monocle. You tell me, 8, 12, 15, if there's any monoculists.
Oh, wow. They're all coming in thick and fast, those
Monoculists.
responses.
There'll be optician. If I went into an optician and said I'm looking for a monocle, would they not want to say, oh, no, we don't really do those anymore?
Half price.
Yeah,
The
Aye.
spectacles.
I bet it wouldn't be. I bet it would be
wouldn't.
at least you've got to pay for the string. For a start
This
off.
sounds very attractive.
But you're going to say
on
the
a
graft that
string.
goes into it.
Not even on a nice leather on a string.
But isn't that weird? For me, it's been the sunglasses hot since me and you went. I hadn't heard of it before.
Making out like we had some romantic mini break.
Well, you took me
I know I
very
did.
much in Take Me to Your Leader. Like, it was very Mork and Mindy, the whole thing. Because she said, oh, those are really nice. They were all like 125 quid. And I just laughed. Obviously, they're not that
He
much.
didn't even think to ask the prices.
I
he didn't
honestly
know.
thought
He
they'd
th-
be like in their 20 quid.
He thought it would be like £12.
We have to bear in mind that he had just worked his way through 17 free pairs, hadn't
I
he?
know,
So,
exactly. And
there's-
that takes... Imagine
there's a lot of inflation.
Everyone's sitting on losing
Yeah.
and stuff that takes to get through that many pairs.
Have you still got those sunglasses?
The sunglass hot ones,
Yeah.
I have them in my pocket. Here they are
Do
now.
you use them regularly?
Only when it's sunny.
Okay.
Good rule.
Even though I am
Not a rock
partially famous. I never wear them for that kind of thing. The worst kind of thing, I think, I know some people need these, but people that don't need those react to light repeat glasses and wear them, I don't like that. That's a terrible look. That is the worst look. People in slightly shaded glasses.
Reading glass. Yeah.
You're in Clinton cards and there's someone in slightly shaded. Now, if they've got, I don't know, something in there, they've got conjunctivitis.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I think my manager had it. But if they've got that, fine. So don't text in, I've got a manula in my retina. Don't text that. I'm sorry, but shut up about it. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about people who think, I'll just look a bit cooler if I wear these. And then and it doesn't. If you're thinking that at home, get some clear ones. Because I always associate it with people who get involved in
Okay.
Yeah, bad stuff.
Yeah, we know.
Okay.
We know what we think it is.
Okay.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
You were talking about the double-barreled name earlier.
I was on about if you married someone with the same surname.
Yeah, with the same surname, so it's not
would-
double-barreled.
Could you? Well, it would be double-barreled, but if I married someone called Skinner,
Yeah.
would she change the name to Louise Skinner? And it just seems a bit wrong. Pointless.
Especially as you've got a partner.
Well, yeah.
It's wrong on several levels.
George Bland has been in touch. Don't be so hard on yourself.
Yeah.
Hi, Frank. What about former Man United footballer Eric Jemba?
Yeah, was he hyphenated, Eric Jemba?
I believe so.
But are you suggesting that Omar Jemba married a bloke called Jemba and thought, well, I'm not giving up my family name?
Good for her.
So,
I really hope so.
So they went,
Respect headstrong women through history, don't we?
Yeah.
but what is going to happen in, say, 10 years' time because when I was a kid, the only hyphenated names was Sir Geoffrey Ponsonby Smythe. There were all those people.
Yeah.
But now, because a lot of people don't marry, the kids have got the double-barreled surname.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happens when they marry kids with other double-barreled surnames?
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's just going to be ridiculous.
Oh,
I
it's
mean,
gonna
you
be
can
some of
have
the-
a driving licence as long as your arm, just with your name on.
You're right.
Yeah.
But what will happen to that? Because you're going to upset anyone if you drop one of those. And where will there be a hyphen in the middle of the two hyphenated names?
They're just going to have...
12, 15. Anyone from the registry office
Yeah.
listening? I remember when we registered our child, the woman said to me, well, at least it's nice and easy to spell this one, boss. And I said, yeah, well, I would have looked it up. She said people don't. People come in and say, I want to call them Melanie, Malny. And I'm never sure whether they just can't spell or whether they've got a wacky thing. She said, but we're not allowed to say, actually, it's normally spelt, blah, blah.
Really?
She said, so now there's just a lot of terribly misspelt names. He said, I think a lot of them are completely accidental. People think that's how you spell it.
Really?
And I said, Broken Britain. She said, you said a mouthful. And then we signed and left. What happened to that woman, I wonder, with her opinions?
If she's listening, tell us.
Yeah.
8, 12, 15.
If she's listening, if that registered.
It'd be nice to hear from her.
We've had some texts in regarding monocles.
Oh, good.
Rob West from Yorkshire says, I bet Jacob Rees-Mogg wears a sunglass monocle.
I hope that is correct.
I think he might get the nanny to walk in front of him with the parasol.
Yeah.
Just to get it out of his eyes.
It's a good question, though. How does Jacob Rees-Mogg keep the sun out of his eyes? Because I can't
wouldn't
see
go
him
for
in a
sun.
straightforward pair of shades.
No.
I can't see him in a sunglass
Aviators,
hat.
no.
No, he would, and he
Wouldn't go to
wouldn't
a
wear.
sunglass
You know
hat.
those sort of sunshades that the one always imagines the dogs wear in the dogs play pool.
What, the visors?
Popular picture. I don't think any of them actually do. But I always think of the dogs wearing visors.
That's a good question. I think the incredibly posh tend to eschew the sunglasses.
I thought your question was going to be, what are the dogs wearing in the pool playing picture?
What are they wearing? Text
I
in
know
8,
there's
12,
one
15.
leaning over the table who's just wearing a waistcoat, if I remember right. I always think, you don't want that against the table. If you're going to actually play, put some trousers on.
Good point.
I I mean, come on.
I might recreate that picture with my dog,
that'd be
Raymond.
good.
Yeah.
You can't have one dog in. You need
No, I
some
know,
others.
but I'll get Catherine Ryan. She's got a
some
Shih
others.
Tzu. I'll get a whole load of them. Get my friends' dogs.
Yeah, you could. I mean, if you're going to have dogs that size, you're going to have to get a smaller table. I'm suggesting bar billiards. I had a dog you could play bar billiards with, without needing any bar billiards. If you receive my meaning. He was old then, though. Oh.
Frank, we've got a Specsavers. Quickly, listen.
Okay.
If you go into Specsavers to buy a monocle, because they always have offers of buy one, get one free, well, they give you a pair of glasses.
Oh, but I don't
you
want
see?
a pair of glasses. I want two monocles.
A spectacle.
Yeah, I want a monocle that just stays in my top pocket like a reserve parachute.
Okay.
So if I lose that, I mean, I don't know why the monocle has died out. There's a lot of people that must just be a bad sight in one eye.
Yeah.
Why is the monocle? There's basically Chris Eubank and is it Mr. Planter? That peanut that wears one.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I love his work.
I think that's it for the monocle. I might because my right eye is all right. It's the left one that's a bit rubbish. I might go monocle.
Do it.
Yeah,
It's a bit villainous.
it's. I always think that.
So's Frank.
I'm not.
Skinner, Dean, and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
I bought some walking boots this week.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a big thing to buy walking boots because it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, buying shoes is a risk.
Yeah.
But walking boots, you're going to go off and do maybe a 17-mile day or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to get it right. How do you do that? Because I tell you,
A walk around the shop is
yeah,
not
but
enough,
exactly.
is it?
Well, it
It's
was
not
when
enough.
you were going off to get them last week, it was a bit Captain Oates.
It was, yeah.
There was something very poignant about it.
Well, it's they're going to be your friends for 2 or 3
Yeah.
years, and if you get it wrong, remember the first time I went in a pair of sort of post-punk red things I'd bought in Camden Market. I thought these would be all right, and the pain. Oh my God, day one. I don't know if I told you this, but. I had massive blisters on my feet, and a guy said, well, in the army, what we'd do is we'd burst them with needles, but we'd leave the cotton on. You know,
On
the
the
cotton on
needle?
the end of it. He said, then what you do is you drag the cotton through
Alright,
the
so it
blister,
takes all the moisture
and
out.
it soaks up the moisture from the... So
Did you do that?
So I lay in this bed seat on the... And
This is a lovely story.
and
I like it.
And Kath had this needle with the cotton on, and she went through the... And she was about halfway through, and she knelt down at the side. And I said, why are you kneeling? And she said, I've sort of semi-fainted. It's so horrible. It's made me go a bit lightheaded and dizzy. So I don't want to go through all that again.
No, nor do we.
So I went to... what happens is you try them on. They measured me like, a proper... Remember the Clark's width
the
fitting of yesteryear?
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
Which when I take Buzz for shoes, he gets that done. But
Yeah.
they don't seem to do it to adults.
No,
But they
not
do
so
for a
much.
walking boot.
No, I don't think they have that at Jimmy Choo.
No, I wonder
I've
why.
never had that at Jimmy
But you'd
Choo.
think at those kind of places
Yeah.
exactly where they would have
Exactly.
it. But they'd
Yeah.
probably realise that no human foot would actually fit into one of those shoes if you was to
Yes.
do the paperwork in front of the people.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I did once run on a treadmill to get
I
running
did that
shoes.
Oh,
in the
sorry, I
shop.
thought that was just an anecdote about fitness.
No, there are some running shops where you can run on
Yeah,
a treadmill
I've
to
done
see
that.
if is it overpronate or whatever.
Yeah.
Is that
you know.
right?
Yeah, and then they give you the right shoes to counterbalance what you...
Yeah, because they said
your
to
foot
me, you
problems are.
lean a bit on that right ankle and
Yeah.
all that stuff. I mean, maybe it was true.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's one where there's an alley at the side of the shop, and this bloke said, go and run up and down that alley, I'll
Really?
watch you. Yeah.
That's good, isn't it?
That's nice.
I thought
Did
it
he
was-
say mind your car?
So I'm there, like I got a suit on and trainers. Run past two blokes, in black Crocs and check trousers, smoking by a
Oh,
bin
yeah.
from the local restaurant. Anyway, so
So you had
what
the
you do,
measurer.
there's a pseudo mound.
Oh, really?
They have a pseudo mound in the middle of the shop with simulated rough terrain on it.
Really? Do
Yeah.
you walk up and down it?
Yeah, it's like a small hill in the shop that
That's
they have.
good.
And they
Did
have.
you feel a bit silly, Billy?
I felt. I'll tell you what. They've got on the wall like a big picture of a mountain. I think the idea is that you sort of, because you're walking up a pseudo mound with rough, simulated rough terrain, and the mountain picture is going to give you a real feeling of the whole experience.
They should give you headphones for a snowstorm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, really atmospheric.
But I didn't need them.
Okay.
Fake views. That's what I said. But I did that. I mean, even though they had the mound, I probably did it, 2 to 3 minutes. I maybe wore those boots for the whole thing, and that's good. That's a good run. They gave me some walking socks to put
Right.
on. I actually. I was. No, I'll tell you after. After this, because the fez is on the table, and
Okay.
you see that thing in my voice then when I went the fez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's happened. Does your voice re-break as you get older?
Oh, I see.
I've had a few of those just lately. What do you think?
Oh, it goes a bit sort of Mavis from
So it does.
Coronation Street.
Yeah.
Not really, no.
I have started noticing that increasing in my. Could be the end of my radio career.
That's
if
right.
it
In
becomes.
2 years, it'd be like working with Joe Pasquale, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, Tiny Tim. Google him. So I ended up buying 125 quid's worth of walking boots. And no, they were amongst the cheapest in the shop.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah. And that I've worn for 2 or 3 minutes, and then I'd go and wear them for 17 miles. I mean, what chance have you got? It's like marriage.
It is very much like marriage.
You know someone for 18 months, and you think, oh yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have a whole life, and imagining that the blisters aren't going to come later on. Well, wake up and smell the what do they smell? Coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're unmarried, aren't you?
I am unmarried at the moment, but who can say?
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Frank, famous monocle wearers. Mm-hmm. This is from 307. Also include Lord Charles
Oh, of course.
and Sir Patrick Moore and many of the Prussian military.
Lord Charles, in case you don't know, was a. I don't think we've refed the Prussian military on here before.
Oh, we will be soon.
I don't get that, but it sounds ominous.
Yeah.
Prince, not Prince Charles,
There's a
Lord
reference
Charles.
to the Russian military.
Oh,
I was
okay.
going to miss
so,
here.
yeah.
They're not Prussian, though, are they?
No, I was
Not
pretending
Prussians
to
are
miss
Germans. Oh, sorry.
You know, it's only one letter. I
Sorry,
thought.
I've
Doesn't matter.
unpicked the whole
Doesn't have to scan, I
facade.
thought.
But Lord Charles was a ventriloquist puppet, in case you don't know, who was like an aristocratic figure.
Who operated him?
Ray Allen.
Okay.
I've worked with him.
Of course
Okay.
you have.
Sure.
And he had a slightly breaking. Well, this was the voice of Lord Charles. I remember he was on with a female assistant on the show, and he said, "Well, you're a pretty little thing, aren't you?" So had he lived.
He sounds very emancipated.
Yeah, I was just saying, could a ventriloquist dummy have been involved in the whole sort of current scandal?
Good question.
Could Ray Allen have said, like,
Is this a
it'd
thought
be a bit
experiment?
like that Anthony Hopkins film, Magic?
Well done. Well done.
Oh, Frank. I remember him. He had a very red lips, the Lord Charles, didn't he?
He did a very fine joke once on Celebrity Squares. And
Was he one of the squares?
he was, I think he might have
I'd
been
be
in
so
the press.
upset.
I think he might have been in the prestigious Centre Square one week. Even.
Do you think he was on
Ka-ching.
the same as everyone else?
Well, he was on with Ray Allen. He wasn't on his own.
Oh, okay.
And He said, Bob Monkhouse, who hosted it, said, "What is a rhubarber?" Do you know a rhubarber? It's a sort of a
Dessert.
Yeah. He said, "What is a rhubarber?" And Lord Charles said, "Fellow who cut your hair by the looks of it." And what was brilliant is because only a character like that could use the word "rom" as an adjective. So I thought it was a brilliant moment.
Yeah.
It had its moments, Celebrity Square.
Oh, yeah.
They used to, when the American, I'm going to stop talking in a minute, but the American Celebrity Squares, which is called Hollywood Squares, used to have a man in the middle who was gay in the day when no one could say there was gay. So everyone knew he was gay, but you couldn't say gay because people would stop watching or whatever they do, writing letters. And he would sit in the middle, being, like the gayest bloke on television, but no one would ever mention. It's like in the 50s. And somebody said, the question was, do chimpanzees kiss? And he said, yes, very well.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text the show on 81215, follow the show on Twitter @FrankOnTheRadio, or email the show via the Absolute Radio website.
Some very sad news in, Frank. Apparently,
no.
former Man United
I
footballer.
thought Arj had gone missing again.
No, it's worse.
No, he did split up with the GC recently.
did he?
Yeah, he was dating the GC.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
How long did that go on for?
Daisy?
A few years?
Yeah.
You're joking, man. I don't think anything that those people did went on a few years. But anyway.
Apparently some sad news. Eric Jemba, he's now bankrupt, unfortunately.
What?
So,
Playing for Man United and now he's bankrupt.
I know. I'm really sorry to hear that.
Might not have
Sorry,
forward
not only
plan.
for him, but for his debtors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's probably glad that we've moved past the point as a society where we had debtors jail, hasn't he?
Yeah, I should think so.
I should
Is
imagine.
he still in Manchester, Eric?
Don't know if he is.
Double D, as we
we're not-
used to call him?
Did they?
No.
240 has texted.
Double Jemba.
240 has texted. Celebrity Squares in the 50s would have just been all the uncool people.
Squares.
Oh,
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I was prepared to wait. I was just going to wait.
I wasn't.
Of course. Squares now are the cool people, aren't
Yeah.
they? You know, you wear
world's-
glasses now. When I was at school, if anyone wore glasses, they were written off as an individual.
The world has
Now
gone
people
mad.
are wearing them and don't even need them.
Tank tops.
Yeah.
All the cool ones now.
We were discussing monocles earlier. 900 has texted, what about split glasses on string that come together with a magnet? What about
Oh,
those?
yeah. Arturo wears those. Michael
No,
Grade.
I'll tell you who doesn't
Really?
wear those. People with nose piercings. Because that magnet would be...
What
surely
it would do,
you'd-
it would draw the...
You'd rip your nose ring
that
out.
would be on the bridge of your nose, and it would very slowly, because it wouldn't be a terribly powerful magnet, or it'd take your fillings out. All your fillings would be on the roof of your mouth, like
You don't want
bats in a cave. But what? Yeah, maybe you wouldn't be able, if you had fillings in your lower teeth, you put on one of those glasses, mate. You wouldn't be able to open your
a
mouth.
severe
Imagine
underbite.
if you were going to a lovely black tie event, had your hair and makeup done, and then that happened with
And then
the
you couldn't
glasses.
open your mouth because you had a magnet in the bridge of your nose, glasses. And also your nose piercing would be steadily, desperately making its way up one cavity, trying to reach the source of the attraction.
I'll tell you what, it's made me rethink my potential nose piercing and my potential glasses held together in the
Out
middle
of
with a
the
magnet.
three of us, who is most likely to get the nose piercing?
Me.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Would
I
you?
think so. Who's the most likely to have metal fillings?
Can I say I'm the least likely?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
I've got quite a lot of silver in me.
I've got some
Not
metal
silver.
fillings.
What is it? What were fillings
That's
made
a
out
funny
of?
way of saying you're rich.
8, 12, 15.
Zinc, was it?
Oh, you can't...
Was it zinc or that? No,
No.
I'm thinking of something else.
I think it's a mixture, isn't it?
No, it begins with M, doesn't it?
M.
Yeah.
That's what it'll be.
M.
Mica.
No.
Remember there was
Grace Kelly.
There was a Mika quarry in an early episode.
I'm
going to
remember what it is.
Batman comic.
Are you going really route one? Is it metal? Is that what you're doing?
No,
Mercury.
Yes.
Oh.
You see, we work together
Don't
as a
think it
team.
is.
Mercury's poisonous, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, I've got quite a lot of that. I remember there used to be stores.
Amalgam.
That's an A.
Amalgam.
We're getting a lot of texts in about debtors' prisons for some
are
reason.
we? Well,
Yeah.
imagine we get quite a few in from debtors' prison.
Well, we've had a correzione
Ah.
from someone Mullet. I think you should be more worried about Jemba's creditors than debtors.
Oh.
Debtors
You know
owe
what?
you. Creditors are owed by you. I'm just
What?
saying
Thank you.
hashtag.
No.
Hashtag
Go on.
correzione.
Yeah, I must admit, when I said it, there was doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
But, without doubt, what are we? Fundamentalists.
Someone said magnesium.
Magnesium. I think isn't that a trace element in bananas that's good for us?
And didn't it does? You can milk it, can't you, and use it for stomach problems?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's all got
Whatever
very
happened to stomach problems?
Yeah.
Sort of
They're
upset
still around.
tummies and things, stomach
I think
ache. No one gets that
I tell you
anymore.
what people don't get. They don't get earache anymore, do they? I think we've had that before.
Okay.
Why are we still talking? Daisy's looking absolute daggers at me.
You're listening to the Frank Skinner podcast from Absolute Radio. Want your Frank fix a little sooner? Listen live every Saturday from 8 a.m. on Absolute Radio. Across the UK on digital radio, mobile apps, and in London and the South East on 105.8 FM.
Absolute Radio.
I want to talk to you about a potential rebrand, guys, that I'm not HAPPY about.
So where are we working now? Some start-up in Old Street?
Gone very partridge there. Heinz apparently been kicking around the idea of changing. What on earth is going on?
This is a bottle of. This is a verbal clue. It's not verbal. Audio.
Jacob Marley.
Radio clue.
Yeah, exactly.
Heinz are kicking around the idea. Is that a tub of salad cream that you got?
It
there?
is.
They're talking about changing the name to sandwich cream.
Yes.
I mean,
Isn't butter sandwich cream?
yeah, it sounds like bad margarine if they call it sandwich cream, doesn't
It
it?
sounds to me like a byproduct.
Oh,
It's the sort of thing, when you used to get supply teachers in, and when they taught, you get that white stuff in the corner of their mouth. That's like saying he got a bit of sandwich cream.
sort of salivation.
Sometimes you get like a strand between the centre of the top lip
I
and the
can't
bottom.
bear it when people get that. Have some
No.
self-respect.
That's
not good.
But people don't know. You see, that's the problem.
I know. Well, I tell them. So it's Heinz.
Yeah.
I like to call them. It's Heinz Craft, actually, isn't it? Now, I
'cause they
believe.
got bought, didn't they?
Heinz Craft.
Well, they've sent
Both
me.
German, originally.
Coincidentally, I've been sent a bottle of salad cream by Heinz.
What,
It
is
doesn't
it a
mention. I don't think it
coincidence?
mentioned. Oh, you think they're trying to? Maybe they're on a big thing. That's why the whole thing has happened. I don't know.
And they're saying
I think
that
they're by appointment to Her Majesty the Queen, according to this.
Yeah.
she gets involved in all sorts.
Yeah, I don't know if she keep lending her name to all these private companies.
So the thinking behind it is that millennials don't sort of relate to salad cream as something they would put on salad.
Can you remind me again what age range we're talking about with millennials?
From 1980. Oh, Daisy says 1981.
Wow, for goodness sake.
From 90.
I thought it was people born since the millennium. That would make sense.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But it's
From 1981.
okay.
So, and then it's Gen Z from about 1990
Oh, dear.
something, yeah. So
I
there you
still
go.
don't know why they need it changed if they're not using it on salad, because, I mean, hardly anybody is putting salad cream on salad, but it doesn't matter, does it? You're still eating it.
I don't know.
Although apparently we're eating it less.
I'll be straight with you. I had sort of got into my mind that there had already been a rebranding and that salad cream was now called mayonnaise. That's what I thought had happened.
Oh, no.
Oh, Frank.
Frank.
So I didn't mean to sound quite so impatient over such a trivial
Sit
matter.
yourself down, because salad cream is a far superior product
Is
to
it really?
mayonnaise. Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Well, I'm going to try it when I get it. It just so happens I have a bottle in my hand.
Oh, yeah.
I
The
think-
German Chancellor this morning.
Yeah, exactly. I spoke this morning with the CEO of
Heinz
Kraft.
Kraft.
Heinz Kraft. And no, I tell you what, I used to get. We had a footballer played for West Brom called Joey Mayo.
All right.
And I always, because he's from the past, I always think of mayo as an old-fashioned thing. I don't know if it is really. I think it was all salad cream when I was a kid. Joey Mayo, the only chant I ever remember that was genuinely negative about your own player. And his regular chant was, oh no, Joey Mayo. That's tough, isn't it?
Not that friendly, is it?
That's tough. But of course, now I'm surprised he hasn't been found up for sponsorship
Yeah.
with the mayo industry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not massively surprised, but a little bit surprised.
Yeah, quite a strange ambassador.
He was.
You know.
Joey Mayo, former West Brom player. It's probably he's probably my age now.
Just trying to imagine how that would go down. The person who mentioned that in the meeting in Old
what about,
Street.
I was thinking about maybe getting Joey Mayo in for a couple of personal appearances.
What does everyone think?
Yeah. There must be other famous Mayos.
Imagine the bearded creators with their fat
Simon?
wives.
Simon Mayo.
Simon Mayo, of course.
Oh, come on
he
now.
was the man to call.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he's changed his name to Simon Sandwich Cream. I think that was a mistake, but you can't tell these people.
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
What do you think about salad cream, Emily?
Frank asked me because I've got a mouthful of crisps, which is why I'm
This is
sounding
gross.
like that.
Yes.
I know, I'm so
People
sorry.
from the fashion industry eat crisps.
Yeah.
You heard it here
True.
first.
Yeah.
Particularly when they've left that industry.
There's no stopping me now.
Yeah, it's like when those footballers like Larry Lloyd, who played for Liverpool. Next time I saw him on telly, I thought he was looking over the back of a sofa. He's got big.
I have gone a bit Razor Ruddock.
You haven't.
No,
You
I haven't.
haven't.
I've actually-
Au contraire.
Crisps
Thank
are
you.
nice. That's the
Oh,
point.
there used to be a thing when I was a youth called sandwich spread. It was called, which is really treading on the toes of butter, isn't it, to call it that?
Yeah.
And it was. I think it was salad cream, but with like little bits of vegetable in it.
I remember
so you
that.
had the entire sandwich filling in one.
Was it like
Yeah.
Primula?
That's
don't know
more
what-
of a
That was a
cheese
cheesy
spread, isn't
spread
it?
with ham bits in it.
Now this was. Salad cream with bits of food in it. It
Yeah.
looked like the sort
So it
of
looked like
food-
someone had vomited, basically.
You know when you're looking for loose change down the back of your sofa and you pull your hands out and there's those bits and you don't really know what they are? It was like that in the salad
okay.
cream. But it was nice. I remember it being nice.
Well, I like salad cream. I'm a big fan of it.
You made that clear.
I sometimes, and
You've
this
become a massive fan since you saw me get a free one this morning.
this is
Which says
controversial.
Frank, salad cream on it.
But I sometimes put salad cream on fish and chips. I eschew tomato sauce.
What
in
you talk
favour-
about, Willis?
And I mean, I'm glad that this has had a response that's quite positive in this room, because sometimes I've told people that and they've acted like I've been like an ogre. Like, oh my God, you do what?
Well, if I was going to be...
Imagine if I
was
put
that
it on
directed at me?
No, imagine if I put it on a hot dog or something. People would be outraged.
SRB?
Well,
That used to be a right...
SRB.
Da-da-da-da.
SRB.
A sausage in a roll in a box for me. It was a cinema advert.
Sounding a bit toppy. Can we do that again?
Okay, 1, 2. So I'm going to go bass.
Okay, I'll go
1,
right.
2, 3, 4.
SRB. SRB. A sausage in a roll in a box for me.
Here you go. A bit of harmony. I took a bit of harmony in.
I can't believe I missed rehearsals for this week's show. It's so frustrating sometimes.
Yes, I like the idea of a sausage in a roll. They hadn't thought there might be a name for that.
And why did they need to make it all cutesy and add for me?
But it was a hot dog. It was a hot dog. It wasn't even in a box, was it? Wasn't it more of a... It didn't have a top on it, did it?
Well, if it was a box, it wasn't
raft.
very sturdy.
It was a raft.
Yeah.
It was a hot dog in a raft.
It's a George Raft. Google it.
Hot dog in a raft, I know. That's what their song should have been.
Can I be honest? Was that Simon Cowell's autobiography? I'm sure it was.
Is it called that?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, okay.
I didn't try salad cream up until a few years ago.
Love it.
Not really.
Put it on a load of tin tuna
we
for a
never
sandwich.
had it.
I think you've just been crossed off a list at
Well, I know.
Kraft. Heinz.
Kraft?
Heinz Kraft.
Heinz Kraft.
Okay.
I think it was just something that I saw it as a little bit watching ITV back in the day.
Yeah.
Do you see?
Yeah, I think it's one of them. I remember
I
when I first came to London in '91. I remember being roundly mocked for liking beetroot.
Oh.
And it was seen as a sort of working class thing. And within 4 or 5 years, the Soho sort of delis started having beetroot in, and the last laugh was on me.
Good for you.
Yeah. Same thing happened with houndstooth check, but I haven't got here time to talk about the way I've led so many trends over the years. In many ways, I'm the Anna Wintour of the low-life world.
A thought did occur to me, Frank. Like, if we get rid of salad cream, what next? Before we know it, we'll be saying goodbye to tartar sauce.
Yeah, we talk.
That is... come on.
Oh, come on.
I wish... Have I got a jingle?
Let's celebrate it.
A jingle... Oh, I've got a jingle that was made for this moment. Just keep talking.
Okay.
I've got a jingle. Just remember that.
Okay, I'm remembering.
Sauce.
Tartar sauce, I'm remembering.
And it's absolutely perfect. I think
Is it a special
Daisy
one?
might have took it off.
Is it a Jose Mourinho special one?
In the end, no, it's gone. Oh, no. Here we go. Oh, sorry, Jerry. I thought you were coming in again there. Which I think is a quote from the Battle of Britain.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Al from Aberdeen. I'm with Alan. This is how we find out. I put salad cream on my fish and chips too. Long live salad cream.
Long
live is great.
I don't even put tomato ketchup on fish and chips.
Do you put anything on it?
I put salt and vinegar on it.
Oh, yeah, good shout.
I think that is what you're supposed to put on it.
Maybe a squeeze of lemon.
Wow.
I don't want to suggest I'm some narrow-minded conformist, but it doesn't need anything else.
Oh.
It's marvellous. When I was a child, this would be our Sunday tea, right? So we'd have Sunday tea at about 4:30, and it would always be exactly the same.
Is this dinner, by the way? Supper?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Well, we used to have a bit more.
It's cooked hot food tea.
Well, it would be often, but on a Sunday, we would have tin salad.
What?
Which was like chopped carrot and peas and stuff in salad cream in a tin. So we'd have that. And then we'd have tin salmon often with that, which people still eat. Kath and my partner has about 6 tins of tin salmon a week.
Really?
Does she?
There's probably something bad in it.
No.
Like living with a tabby.
It is. It is a bit. Sometimes, I'll
Sleeps in
go...
a circle, doesn't she?
Sometimes I'll go to kiss her and as much as I love her, it's very... very fishy.
Yeah, but she's got good skin. It's good for the skin, the salmon.
Is it good for the skin?
Yes, that's
It'll
why.
be bad. But anyway, so we'd have that. And then we would have tinned fruit salad with tinned carnation cream, which we'd pour over it.
Oh, that was very sweet, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Lovely.
So tinned salad, tinned salmon, tinned fruit salad and tinned cream. That would be our... So this is when I was living with... Robert Scott and the Antarctic. And it was cold nights. But yeah, and that tin salad, I think that might have gone now.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I know about all the rest.
So that's not salad. Peas and carrots.
There was all the little tiny chopped like beans that have been cut with scissors.
So there was no iceberg in there or gem.
Well, we had, what are those beans called? They're quite fat.
Runner.
No, they're not the thin ones. They're kind of like spongy pods.
Oh.
Big fat beans. You know the ones I mean?
Broad beans?
Might be broad
Yeah,
beans.
broad.
We had a bowl.
Stewart's, we call them.
We had a bowl of. I call them Chris's.
Yeah, oh, lovely.
That's his dad. You see, and I'm older. Was the joke. So I don't know. I'm sure it is broad beans. They're quite fat, spongy,
Okay.
and we had a bowl of those. And the babysitter come in and said, "That is the biggest edamame I've ever seen in my life." And you think the world has just changed.
Yeah.
It's changed.
You're listening to the Frank Skinner podcast from Absolute Radio. Want your Frank fix a little sooner? Listen live every Saturday from 8 a.m. on Absolute Radio. Across the UK on digital radio, mobile apps, and in London and the South East on 105.8 FM.
Absolute Radio.
I had a dream last night that George Orwell was still alive. Why did that happen?
That's not what happened to
Why
Martin
would
Luther
that-
King.
Why would that have been in my mind?
Maybe
I
it's
was just
because
at a
we're...
party and I said, "Who's that guy?" And they said, "It's George Orwell." I said,
Maybe
"He's
you're-
dead, isn't he dead?" And they said, "No, what George Orwell? No. He just doesn't write stuff anymore."
Even your dreams are impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, that's wonderfully intellectual, isn't it? You dream of George Orwell.
Oh,
I have
I can't
people
even
from Love
remember whose
Island in my
party it was or
dreams.
anything. Yeah.
At a buffet, I mistook salad cream for the cream for a chocolate cake. It was salad cream, and I can't ever eat it again. That's from Daniel Doyle from Sydenham. Is it Sydenham?
Yeah.
Is that how you say it? Yeah.
Sidney,
Yeah, you
so
said
home
really
of the
well.
Greyhound.
You're looking DJ Skeptical.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not DJ Skeptical.
No, I'm just saying that would put you off, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I'll tell you a food I do think needs rebranded. Not salad cream, but offal. Because I don't think the British are very good at eating offal, and I think it's because it sounds like it's awful.
It does sound a bit like awful.
I mean, there's
But
a
what would they
nominative
call it?
determinism to it.
Yeah.
Sweetmeats, which is what they used to call it.
There you do get that.
That's
Yeah.
what they used to call it, and
Tubular balls.
people would
Sorry to hear
munch away happily, wouldn't they?
Yes, I went there.
Yeah. I heard that
Offal is a great one,
they're going to rebrand the Antarctic
Are
to
they?
the Deck Arctic.
Oh,
So worried about.
It may be some time.
Yeah, they're worried about the image and all that stuff. But these sponsors, they are so disloyal.
Yeah.
tell you what doesn't need rebranded:
What?
Superfoods. Superfoods.
That's
they've
good.
got exactly what it says on the tin
Yeah,
thing.
that
I think.
How? I tell you what needs a rebrand. Lard. Lard is actually very good for you. It's
Well,
better.
Shut up.
It is.
I-
It's the
I
trend.
use lard.
The trendoids like it now.
Yeah.
It's
Lard?
better
Yeah.
for you than butter and margarine. It's got the right
Particularly
sort
margarine.
of fats.
Lard?
Yes.
I think
People
it's
think
got
there's
the
a
right
West
smoke
Indian
point.
church in this studio if they walk past. Lard? No, really? I thought lard was the absolute worst thing in the world.
No, lard is our saviour.
Sorry, we're not slagging off Radio 2 if anybody thinks it.
It's really good for you. But because it's lard,
Yeah, the good lard, as we call it. Yeah, it's now been rebranded. Yeah. And great if you're going out clubbing, lard of the dance.
Frank Skinner.
On Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
And this is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text us on 8 12 15, and we love it when you do. Right, guys?
Yeah.
Follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, or email the show via the Absolute Radio website.
people have
There you
been
go.
sending
That
in.
I'll tell you what that felt like. You know when someone goes to the door in a film
Yeah.
and there's a bloke standing behind them with a gun. And they say, "You coming out, Dave?" No. I'm not coming out today. Thanks very much. Oh, can I come in for? No, it's not convenient at the moment. And they walk away, and you think, how could you not know that there was? Did you hear my voice go again? Then?
Yeah.
No, you're being
Something's
too
happening
paranoid
with my
about the Mavis
I
thing.
tell you what it is. I watched a Batman and Robin animation this
Oh,
week.
yeah, that'll be it.
And it was based on the 1960s Batman TV series. And they had Adam West, no longer with us.
Loved
sadly.
him as well.
But he's doing the voice of Batman, and he's an old guy.
Right.
So they're saying that the commissioner, who's not the same actor, would say, "What do you think of this, Batman?" Well, it's pretty bad. But you think, well, you think it's bad, and I'm starting to I feel that's happening to me. I need to do plenty of visual stuff while I still can.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's
I meant
shocking,
audio. I meant audio stuff.
Shocking revelations this morning on Absolute Radio.
Someone's going, I tell you.
Frank, we've had some lovely pictures sent in by some of our readers of Heinz vegetable salad in a tin. It's still available, it looks like.
It is still available.
Well, unless they've... I mean, it looks like it is. I can see the sell-by dates on the top. These look current branding and packaging to me.
Wow, it really feels like post-war. But I suppose there's always a war somewhere.
Good point.
Here's a thought on the food front. Whatever happened to Ploughman's lunch?
Oh, that's a good one.
Used to be a thing in the pub. Yeah, I might have to just have a Ploughman's.
Yeah.
It was such a thing.
It
was part of everyday vernacular.
But it was bread, cheese, and Branston pickle. But that was it, wasn't it?
That was it.
Yeah.
What, maybe a lettuce, one lone lettuce? No, I don't even think the lettuce leaf.
Not a Ploughman wouldn't have anything to do with it.
I think it was uncluttered by vegetables.
Yeah. It was just those three elements.
And so popular.
Really
I
popular.
remember, and it would be a bigger chunk of cheese than you'd ever eat at home, which is what you want when you're out.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
even remember
excess.
butter being a big feature.
Yeah, I wonder
Just the cheese.
I don't know if there was a... Sarah, does this ring any bells with you? Oh, she's
You know about
26.
Oh.
Yeah, she knows
Okay.
the Ploughmans.
There was a film about it
I've heard.
called The Ploughman's Lunch.
Oh,
There
yeah.
was, with Jonathan Pryce. And it was about, the cynical 80s, and it said that it was part of a marketing campaign, the Ploughman's Lunch. That some advertising guy just came up. Ploughman didn't eat that.
No.
They didn't eat Branston pickle, no.
No,
And the
apparently
medieval.
they didn't have the bread and cheese thing, Ploughman.
What do they eat then?
They like a BLT and
Well, Piers Ploughman had a BLT.
club sandwich with a bit of mayo.
Coronation
I don't
chicken
know what they
sometimes. They varied it.
And they
Text
probably-
in on 8 12
depends
15
what-
if you know what the Ploughman ate.
Depends what they were ploughing that day. Whatever came up.
Yeah. Raw garlic.
Maybe they had like the equivalent of the Yorkie or the Marathon, because they were the
No.
truck driver, really.
They were.
Frank, we've also had a framed picture in of the dogs playing pool.
Oh, yeah.
And
does one of them look like he might...
well, just to confirm, on the sartorial front, we have a visor.
Oh, there is a visor. That's good.
There's a pipe. One has a cigar.
You don't want that over bays.
And one has, what I like is a small cropped bolero jacket with the sleeves pushed up
Oh.
onto the elbows.
Not totally sure what a bolero jacket is. This is a...
Sort of, if you think of an ice skater might wear one.
Oh, okay.
Do you see? A bit matador.
What always frustrated me about it is I've always been told that dogs can only see in black and white.
Did they?
So it was a game that...
They'd have an awful time.
Must
at
have been an
snooker.
eternal game. Lots of dispute and confusion, feelings of terrible inadequacy.
I mean, if that is a fact, they should have been playing chess.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Why aren't
Yeah,
the
but
dogs
the
I
good
playing
don't
news
think
is-
they're that intelligent.
The good news is my dog thinks I'm much more glamorous and better looking than I am.
Well, yeah. And
I look like Audrey Hepburn to my dog. Come on.
Check me out. There'll be some people that know. I'm right. I think the dogs only see in black and white. I think that's okay.
I don't know.
Yeah? We'll soon find out.
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Mulligan has been in touch on the Twitters to tell us that you can get Ploughman's lunch in a packet. I always keep some in my drawer at work in case of emergencies.
But doesn't the bread go off?
Well, it's a snack pack, so they've got crackers, which isn't a traditional Ploughman's.
No.
However, on the front of the packet is one element that I think we forgot to mention, which is the large solitary pickled onion.
Oh, was that part of the Ploughman's?
Yes, very much so. Because I always had to ask sans onion.
I knew about that, but I just assumed that it came under the category of pickle that we'd already discussed.
No, that was Branston.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
You're right.
Okay.
Still a
So
pickle.
Nice try.
So you
Still a
got
pickle.
Branston and a pickled onion?
Double pickle,
Wow.
as nobody calls it.
Double pickle. I like that the person from either Kraft Heinz or Heinz Kraft said that the current name, and I quote, doesn't represent its usage occasions.
I love that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds like the sort of things Jennifer Aniston would have on a list about Brad Pitt. Loose usage occasions. That's great.
Yeah, I'm
Also,
going to start
other-
using that.
Other sauces don't do that. Tomato sauce gives no indication of its usage as sauce. If it was like
Yeah.
steak and chips sauce, then it might, or fish and chips
Yeah,
sauce.
barbecue sauce maybe.
All right, yeah, you got me on that.
Okay, but
Burger sauce.
I mean
maybe.
brown sauce. Very basic. Also called Daddy's with brand name.
You're right.
Also called sometimes fruity.
Is
That's
it?
true, yeah.
Yeah, fruity sauce.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
I'll tell you what has taken does exactly what it says on the tin approach to sauce naming. Hot sauce.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Keep it simple, Maurice.
Can I ask you what, before we move
Too
off
hot,
this,
some of it.
Yeah.
soy sauce.
Mm.
Only the other day, my son said to me, only because he had a spelling test at school and they're doing OY this
Oh,
week.
yeah.
Okay.
So they had boy, toy, and they had soy.
Mm.
And he said, I don't know what that is. I said, it's that sauce. And I showed him a bottle of it, which I had in the cupboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said, is it like, that's soya, is it? Is it from soya? And I thought, I don't know the answer to
I think
this.
it is from the soya
don't
bean, isn't
know.
it?
Oh, is it? I thought it was a rice-based. product, but yeah, we don't know.
It feels like it should be, but I dropped me in it.
Okay.
I've always thought, of course, that KFC should be called Battery Hen.
Oh, no.
Skinner, Dean, and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
We had a chat earlier on about your new walking boots, didn't we?
Yes.
And we've had an email. Are hiking shoes comfortable? Dear Frank, you often see people in running shoes and tennis shoes, etc., that don't actually play the sport but wear them because they're so comfortable. But I've never seen anyone in shoes specifically designed for walking wearing them on any other occasion. If they're so comfortable to walk in, why is this? I walk on the white cliffs each day, and the only people I ever see with problems or putting plasters on are people with hiking shoes. I did see a pair of Italian women walking the cliffs in stilettos, but that's the wonderful thing about Italians. And they had no problem at all. Are they actually worth it?
Well, it's
What, the Italian women?
It's a good
I don't know.
Is she worth it? No, I think it's a good question. Maybe I've been conned. I've never had more pain from shoes than I've had from walking shoes.
Really?
Well,
I was walking to school with... I've been trying to break them in this week.
Right.
I don't even know if you break in shoes anymore.
Yeah, I
used
mean, I
to
haven't
buy-
done that in a long time.
You used to buy shoes and then just wear them around the house until you'd
People would
stop
put-
crying.
Well, you had to accept that you would have sort of Captain Oates feet
For a while.
several weeks.
Yeah. I'll tell you something else.
Was he a
as well.
captain?
Do-
Yes, I think he was. Yeah.
I'll tell you something else. I
perished
remember when you
anyway.
used to buy a new car.
They all
Spoiler
perished.
alert.
Yeah.
You used to buy a new car and then you used to have to drive it really slowly.
Running
for the
in.
first few. You used to have to run it in, yeah.
Running in.
Did you really?
It's a thing.
What they would tell you that at the garage?
It was a standard thing when you get. If you ever, I didn't really know many people who got a new car, obviously, but people who bought a new car for the first 1,000 miles or something, you're supposed to do like 20 mile an hour.
Just take it slowly, like dating.
Just to get it used to the idea of being out
Speaking
there.
as the show's motoring correspondent, I've run in a new motorcycle in the past. You do the first 600 miles at under a certain amount of revs, and then you can go crazy.
Who'd have
I think
thought
that's
that?
urban myth.
Well, there is a conspiracy theory.
It's a rubbish urban myth.
A motorcyclist told me that they don't really need running anymore, but what they do is they tell you to run it in because obviously it's a new machine to you.
Yeah.
They don't want you just getting on it and going crazy.
Take
So,
her easy.
Yeah,
Well,
take it easy for the first 600
Take
miles.
her easy.
And then you know the machine, Alan. Then you know the machine and what she's capable of.
Well, I was
the
out,
sort of chat they
out
have.
with my child, and he was racing with this other kid, racing ahead of us. I mean, literally racing. So they'd pick a lamppost, and whoever got there first.
Good fun.
And he shouted, "My dad can't keep up because he's got walking shoes." As if there was some sort of obligation that came from the name.
Oh, you've already given him shame, Frank.
Oh, but I've given him comedy. What better gift could there be than that? Without us, oh no, that's about singing. But anyway, it made me laugh. The Guardian.
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
So, what else?
Well, I just quickly want to say 507 has been in touch to say my walking shoes are the best. Purchased them and was straight into the mountains.
Good.
Yeah.
Well,
With no issues whatsoever. I hope you purchased half a size bigger. That's from Corinna from North Wales.
Well, I
and
was
she'll know
mentioning-
her mountains.
I had my, of course. Well, I had my width. Yeah, well, I was going to phone Tina Turner about it. River Deep.
Oh yeah.
But no, they did my width fitting, so I'm trusting them totally.
Okay.
It's one of these. As a very experienced man dealing with me, I could tell I'd done a lot of walking, and then he was called away and sent over a Carlow youth.
Oh, that's a shame.
And I thought, whoa. And he banged the front piece down right onto the end of my toe, when he was measuring me. Oh, it was...
Sounds like you've got some residual anger you haven't dealt with properly.
No, I like to see young people getting on.
Okay.
That's important.
I want to talk about Barack Obama
I like
this
seeing
morning.
him get off as well.
Goodness me.
Sorry, I was just reading some quotes from the paper. Sorry, carry on.
I want to talk about Barack Obama. Late review.
Who?
Well,
Forgotten.
Remember him.
his security detail, his former security advisor, called Ben Rhodes. He doesn't sound very secure, to be fair, because he's just written a book about all his clients, which is a great sign of his credentials.
Yeah.
Anyway, it is quite interesting because he was talking about a visit that the Obamas made to Buckingham Palace back in 2011, I think.
Smashing.
And the little detail that I enjoyed was a butler informing Barack Obama that there was a mouse in the room. And apparently Barack said, don't tell the First Lady. And he said, well, we can get rid of this for you, sir, if we'd like. He said, no, just don't tell the First Lady. And I like the sneakiness of Barack.
You say you like, I see him in a different... To
Go
me, it's got an element of, you know what they're like.
Oh, I see,
It's got a bit of that to, don't start her off.
Bit 70s.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I see him as a super sort of cool modern man. I'm thinking, oh, don't tell her.
Her indoors.
Can you imagine what we'll have to put up with? She finds out. It's got that feel to it.
Yeah. Do you think he said, I hope it'll be another 2 hours waiting for her to do her makeup?
Maybe.
I
hope he did.
Also, in a hotel, presumably, if there's a mouse in your room, you would kick off and demand a different room. But
You can't do
presumably,
that
they would have been in the
BP.
second best room in the palace, and the next room would
No,
be.
Prince Philip gets that. Come on.
I don't think he's in the same room as
They
Her
do.
Majesty.
I think it's known, isn't it, that they sleep?
Yeah, because
do
when
they?
the intruder broke in,
Oh, right, yeah.
spelt the beans, the broad beans.
Oh.
But I like the way that the Buckingham Palace guy, he said, "Mr. President, pardon me, there's a mouse," which I thought would be a good autobiography title. Should have called it that. I would read that book.
My dad once, so it was in the the kitchen. We lived in the kitchen, and my dad suddenly, he was drying his hands on a tea towel. He suddenly leapt full length, like a modern day goalkeeper. Absolutely. And he'd seen a mouse going along the skirting board, and he leapt and caught it in the tea towel.
Did he?
Never.
Amazing. Yeah. And he took it outside, and I was waiting for him to just squeeze it like a lemon, but he took it outside and released it in the garden. But I mean, he was in his 50s, fabulous piece of athleticism.
He leapt like a goalkeeper. Do you think he was influenced by Peter Bonetti, the cat?
Oh.
Catching a mouse.
Order. Excellent.
Frank Skinner
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
So,
We're at the palace. Discussing the Obamas' visit. When a butler told them that there was a mouse in the palace, they must have thought that they were at the start of a fairy tale or something, mustn't they?
I think I'd have said where on the off chance. He'd have said there on the stair. But no, I didn't. Yeah, it's a strange. I would have been, because imagine. What surprises me is, first of all, they stay at the palace.
Yeah.
Because
isn't it true, the Holiday Inn?
But isn't it true that you too have to fly on separate planes for security reasons? Because they don't want them all to get wiped out at the same time if the plane crashes.
Oh, yeah.
So you'd think security. How many people do the Obamas bring in those days, security-wise?
Yeah.
Why aren't they in the bedroom getting rid of mice?
I've got that.
Mouse should have been shot down.
9, I've got it. 9. But
9, thanks.
They stayed in a Premier Inn in Victoria.
Well, that's
the security detail.
No,
fair enough.
I'd have been worried that was a Putin-esque listening device.
The mouse. Yeah, the robotic mouse.
Do you remember that mouse that had a human ear grafted onto its back?
I do remember.
Can you imagine the Russians using those to listen into?
Absolutely.
That's probably what they were made for. We're all for, that poor mouse. It's probably MI5 coming up with a mobile listening device.
And also, how tempting would it have been for one of the security detail to just shoot the mouse dead and get promoted? Like the third best in the security team must have thought, this is my chance if I blow this mouse's head off.
I don't know. I think
25 feet.
I think it'd have been frowned on.
You think so?
Yeah,
I think firing.
so.
If you're going to shoot guns in the palace,
Looks like an instant promotion to me. But
you've got to have a good reason. They didn't even shoot the Queen's intruder.
Okay, calm down, everyone.
Not like the glory days.
Okay, I knew that, and that's where I didn't want to go.
Okay.
I like that he said that he likes the Queen, apparently, Barack.
What's he going to say?
Well,
personally, I despise
he didn't say this publicly. He said it to his security detail behind the scenes. Okay. He said she reminded him of Toots, his grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because she didn't suffer fools, gladly. And whenever people say that, it's an interesting one, that, isn't it? Because I think, are you sort of saying they're a bit unpleasant?
A bit of a nightmare.
Yeah. Is it a bit of a git time, is what I'm saying?
Well, I think, because I love fools.
Dear.
Yeah, they're endless.
Why do they fall in love, though?
Well, I don't know. When I was watching Love Island for the first time last night, it's full of
fools.
Imbeciles, even.
Yeah.
Is that the theme tune? Why do fools fall in love?
Yeah.
It is.
No, it's just
But why? So
just a big question mark.
Why?
can we just establish where we stand on fools?
Well, me and David Baddiel used to have this classification of fools and idiots. And idiots were people who you really didn't like. They were unpleasant, blah, blah. But fools were like lovable.
Okay.
We had another category as well, but it was basically just me and him in it.
What was that?
No, that was it. Me and him. No, we didn't. But we, a lot of our people we loved were fools. Whereas
nice.
idiots tend to be like the guy who I told you saw the naked bike ride and said weirdos.
Yes.
Those kind of narrow-minded.
Yes.
So no, I like Falls. I suffer
Okay.
them gladly.
Okay. Well,
I
not
don't-
like Toots or the Queen.
No, I think the Queen must be surrounded by Falls. Surely. I mean, as we speak, I can see that's the case. She said they had gold chargers that they ate off, Michelle.
Yeah.
Gold chargers.
Yeah.
No, they were gold
I don't know.
plates, and she
Oh, okay.
thought...
Not plates, not chargers.
I was thinking,
Not like an iPhone
yeah,
gold.
there'd be
Yeah.
a special Apple shop for only the posh.
You just have an apple on it. That's what you eat. That's the dessert. Yeah, that's always. But I thought isn't a charger supposed to be made out of bread?
I don't know what this bit is.
We'll come.
We'll come
confused.
back. We'll return
We'll
to
come
it.
back. We'll give you a chance because you're looking. You've gone a bit
Very
pale.
confused.
I don't know. You've had a linguistic meltdown. Be all right in a minute.
Frank Skinner.
On Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
It must be difficult to keep a big building like the Palace free of mice because it's so big and sprawling, and presumably they can't have.
What's going on over there?
You guys all right?
I've got
You and Daisy are up to
newspaper.
something.
You spilled something.
I've got newspaper print on my fingers, which I've got all over the desk, and Sarah Champion is coming soon, she won't like it.
She can't deal with it.
It looks like
It's not fair.
She strikes me as very tolerant and good-natured.
I know, but she
Yeah,
won't
but
like
you've gotta tidy
dirty
your own mess,
fingerprints
haven't
on
you?
her work surface. It really looks like
Easy, Tiger.
I'm at Scotland Yard. Also, do I want to leave my fingerprints around?
No.
They could be taken, copy my
What,
world.
can I just say, whatever
Sure.
happened to newsprint
Fingerprints.
on
Oh,
your
right,
on your
newsprints,
finger?
yeah.
Well, here it is. It still
Okay.
exists.
All
I
right,
picked up
calm
the
down.
Daily Telegraph. Yes.
And other things that
And,
make you sound like a colonel.
Yeah, I picked up the,
I picked up the Daily Telegraph. Went round to see my friend.
Not the Daily
Rees-Mogg.
Express. Does the Daily Express still exist?
8, 12, 15. No, don't do
Yes,
that.
it
It's really
does.
Too late now, but I say it's a paper I have only ever read when I've picked it up off a seat when I'm getting off a plane.
Yeah.
I think that is their distribution method.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I've just been given a note to say that Sarah Champion's coming up next. I've just said that.
Is that it?
What
We
am I,
finished.
a publicist?
We spent so long getting the newsprint off your fingers, we lost the link.
I know I've really got dirty fingers now, I must say. But hey. Still, that's all lovely. I think we're at the end of the show. That is the
Strangest
broadcasting.
thing you've ever said in your whole life.
Yes, I'm hoping that'll be on our tape for the what they're called, the Radio Awards.
The Radio Awards.
What now they're called?
No,
What are they called
I think that's what
nowadays?
they're
Isn't that a
called.
funny
it's
name?
arias.
Yeah, the Arias. Well done.
All right.
See.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hope they don't use that bit in my my time
I've
capsule.
got dirty fingers. It's all lovely.
Exactly.
Still,
I'm
that's
sure I
all
must
lovely.
have said that before.
I've
at
got a
some point.
combine harvester.
I've got a combine harvester. What have you got into catering? So, look, that's basically the end of the show. And I say basically because obviously I'm still speaking, but I'm moving towards the climax of the show. And thank you for listening. I know it's not always easy. But amount of people that tell me they listen to this show whilst driving their children to things like cricket and ballet and
distraction.
cage fighting,
Yeah.
one bloke said to me.
Oh, really?
Oh, the children go to cage fighting.
Apparently there's a big children's cage fighting circuit.
That's nice.
Yeah. And like the bars obviously a bit close together. That's the basic difference. Weird. I was appalled and enthralled simultaneously. So thanks for listening. And if and a lot of people, by the way, have sent in stuff about shows I've done this week at the Soho Theatre. Thank you for that. But I don't read out praise, as you know. But thanks. It means everything to me. Not everything. Everything is an exaggeration. But thank you. I didn't read them. I'm going off hearsay from Emily. Who
Yeah.
said they got nice stuff.
They were
there
lovely
might have
about
been
you.
some very derogatory stuff, but who needs that in their life? To hell with you.
No, that they did say lovely things. That was before the dirty fingers comment, however.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's look back on that as the golden age. So, look, if the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Now, get out.
You're listening to the Frank Skinner podcast from Absolute Radio. Want your Frank fix a little sooner? Listen live every Saturday from 8 a.m. on Absolute Radio. Across the UK on digital radio, mobile apps, and in London and the South East on 105.8 FM.
Absolute Radio.